The gunfire continues to crackle. The shells continue to fall. The number of dead and injured continues to rise as the sparse medical facilities are increasingly overwhelmed. And an account of just one of the dozens of close-quarter firefights.
Gaddafi's forces were in the city center. Then when they tried to withdraw, the opposition fighters attacked, so they started shooting towards us at a civilian checkpoint. 19 people were wounded, 3 were killed.
The government forces have been taking their losses too, the opposition fighters defending fiercely. The battle in Misurata is of a ferocity and duration very different from the hit-and-run engagements that have characterized much of this conflict. With the city encircled, the only escape route for civilians is by sea, and the harbour the only access point for desperately needed humanitarian supplies. The Libyan opposition is calling for safe areas and humanitarian corridors to be established. Its position now that any UN-sanctioned force deployed on the ground for this reason would be welcomed and not regarded as an abrogation of sovereignty.
If UN ground troops are the only way to secure safe passage, then there's no harm in that. And this would be within the terms of the decisive measures the UN has provided for, if civilians are to be protected.
Those calling for UN ground involvement in Misurata insist it would fall within the parameters of Resolution 1973, which says all necessary measures can be taken to protect civilians. The UN passed a similarly worded resolution nearly 2 decades ago that was also under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, which permits armed deployment. Resolution 794 was the mandate under which a US international force was sent, and I quote, to create a protected environment to conduct humanitarian operations. That country was Somalia. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Benghazi.